Hi everybody, this is Ms. Faith Goh. I'll be going through with you question 3 of the RV Promo paper today in this video. This series of videos will go through question analysis and brainstorming techniques. And before this video starts, I would like you to sign in to this QR code or the tiny URL, and that will take you to a Google form that I want you to fill in as this video goes along, because it's important for you to think along this video and not just listen. Okay, so let's start. If we look at this question, it says a place where the dreams of young people are increasingly unattainable. How far is this true of your society? Okay, so we're looking at the dreams of young people, so really looking at aspirations, looking at the goals of young people. Young people really, generally speaking, younger than 35. So you're looking at young adults as well, not just children or teenagers. And you are considering whether this place that we are in, your society, for this video we will look at Singapore, and whether Singapore is a place where the dreams of young people are increasingly unattainable. To consider the place, you need to consider aspects of this place. So you will want to consider politics, economy, culture, freedom, security, education, healthcare, as many aspects as you can about this place that may affect whether or not young people can achieve their goals. There's this word increasingly here. So this means more and more so, meaning that there might be something that's happening today, either aspects of the place today, or maybe even trends, something that has happened that is making it harder. So there's this idea of making it harder now to achieve the dream. So unattainable is really looking at unachievable. There's even this idea of maybe out of reach. You know, that our dreams, young people's goals and aspirations are becoming out of reach. Okay, so if you look at these different parts of the question, let's start by thinking about the dreams of young people in Singapore. Okay, if you look at the first question in your Google document, I've asked you in that question to list as many goals and aspirations young people have in Singapore. Okay, pause the video and I'm just 5 seconds, write as many dreams and goals. Okay, second question after that, if you can think of a way to categorize these dreams, please write it in the second question. If not, you can just put nil and then you can continue. Okay, let's talk about the dreams of young people. I think many of y'all, one of the first things would be money, right? To have a comfortable life. Many young people want careers. They want jobs that can give them a comfortable life. Do they want? I'm not sure. Do they want to climb the social ladder? Do they want to live in a certain type of property? Do they want to own properties? Do they want to live in a landed property or condo? I'm not sure. I'm not sure whether these are suitable goals. There's this very dated notion called the 5 C's. The Singapore dream used to be cash, condo, credit card, car. I think that's only 4. I don't know what the 5th is. But take note, this is a little bit of a dated notion. You need to think, do young people still want the 5 C's? Or are there other things they want now? Okay. So some of you will have these things related to money really, and having a good, comfortable life. But some of you may have added some other things in this. So not just a career, but a meaningful career, a meaningful job. And not just having a job, a 9 to 5, but maybe young people also want work-life balance now. They want they want to have fun as well, they want to enjoy life. Right? And then apart from all of these ideas over here, there are also perhaps other types of goals and aspirations that young people want, not necessarily for themselves, but maybe for Singapore as a whole. Maybe they want a solution to climate change. Maybe they want Singapore to be more sustainable. Maybe they want more justice, more equality, more sustainability. So this is sustainability. Okay. So if you look at it, the parts in blue have to do with really quite tangible dreams, and really relating to individual dreams, or individual goals. If you look at the parts in purple, these are more intangible. If you look at these over here, these are intangible things that are for the individual, but over here you have goals that are for society. I think young people today are more complex than we give them credit for, maybe. And so in some ways, if you can think of the aspirations and goals and you can brainstorm, you realize that there might be a way to categorize them. But if you don't categorize, it's not a big deal. You can write an essay simply on tangible individual goals. Alright, so if we look at all of these goals, is Singapore a place where young people can achieve these goals? Why or why not? Okay, I want you to go to the next question in the Google form. Take a look at the aspects of Singapore and write down as many aspects of Singapore that make it seem as if young people can achieve all the goals they want. Okay, take about 5 seconds to do that. Or no, just pause the video and take however much time you need. Okay, when you're done with that, go to the next question. I want you to be thinking about the reasons why it is not necessarily that easy for young people to achieve their goals. Write down as many things or problems or issues or aspects about Singapore that make it more and more difficult for young people to achieve their dreams. Okay, do that part now. Okay, let's look at the aspects of characteristics of Singapore that make it seemingly easy for young people to achieve their dreams. Okay, some of y'all would say that Singapore is a developed country. We are very safe. Young people in Singapore actually survive. Yeah, I mean, we have a high chance to live to adulthood. That's a very low bar. But yes, we're safe. We have a world-class education system. Young people can be equipped with the qualifications that they want to get the jobs that they want. We are a global hub, so to speak. There are many opportunities that we have in Singapore with many transnational corporations located in Singapore. There are a lot of opportunities that we have. We are wealthy, which means that we have various opportunities. We can, our dollar is huge, our passport is impressive, and so all of this does contribute to this idea that if young people want, they can attain their dreams, right? It's attainable. Okay, but if you look at this list, I want you to also think, but why is it maybe not that easy, or it's not that simple, not that straightforward for young people to achieve their dreams? And what are some problems that we have that is making it a little bit harder? Okay, so yes, we're wealthy, yes, we're developed, but what about the increasing income gap? Okay, Minister Lawrence Wong recently published a statement that said that that found that there's an increasing income gap between those who are highly skilled versus those who are not skilled. So this is an area of huge concern. If there is an increasing income gap, is society becoming more stratified? such that people cannot climb the social ladder? In some ways, we do have social mobility, but do we have decreasing social mobility? As there's a greater gap between the rich and the poor. Even if we look at our education system that gives us qualifications for the careers that we want, are there problems of inequality within the system? Is there a gap between so-called elite schools versus non-elite schools? There was a Channel News Asia article that all of you need to know. They found that increasingly students in elite schools don't have friends in non-elite schools and vice versa, and this is becoming more of an issue as parents send their children to the schools that they went to, creating closed circles, right? And then society becomes more stratified in that way. So if you look at that, and then you want to think, even if in Singapore we get the qualifications that we want, do we necessarily get the jobs that we want? What are some trends today that is making it harder? I mean, if you look at global competition, at this point, it seems as if we can work at any job that we want from anywhere in the world that we want if we are able to work from home. I mean, COVID-19 shifted that paradigm for us really quickly. Does this mean that when you graduate in, I don't know how many years, 6 years, 5 years, 6 years, are you going to have to compete with the millions of graduates in India and China and Europe? Do you need to show that you have an edge over all of these in that global competition, rather than just showing that you have an edge over your neighbor next door? Okay, so global competition, even if you're looking at money, some issues of inflation, of rising costs. I mean, of course, with the war between Russia and Ukraine, all over the world, we are experiencing inflation, and money seems to be getting smaller. There are parts of the world that is having a lot rougher than what we are facing in Lebanon, for example. But this can be a little depressing. Okay, and of course, if you look at intangible goals, sustainability, are you optimistic, or are you slightly depressed about whether or not we will eventually get there? Okay, and if you're slightly depressed with regard to whether or not we will get there, why? Why are we slightly depressed? I'm sorry, this doesn't make any sense, but that we will eventually get there. Okay, and in that sense, how is it? And so what are the reasons why it makes it harder now? Okay, so this would be the brainstorming process for this question. Let me show you a thesis and then show you the different parts of it, a possible thesis. Okay, let's take a look at this. This is just a possible thesis for this question. So as Singapore progresses, we become more wealthy. The dream of a comfortable life. So that's defining what the dreams of young people are. The dreams of a comfortable life seems to be within the grasp of most young people today. So these are reasons why it is attainable. Okay, we are progressing, we are wealthy, seems to be within the grasp. However, due to rising costs, increasing competition, it may not be as easy as it looks, despite our developed nation status. So developed nation status is a reasons for attainable, the parts in red, we are really looking at reasons why it is less attainable now, or why it's harder, or it's why it seems out of reach. Okay, so in addition, the dreams of young people have been growing bigger. So I'm also defining the scope of what dreams. In addition to having money, so this is a definition of money of dreams. They want meaningful careers. They want a good place to raise their families. They want work-life balance and more intangible goals such as equity, justice, sustainability. So if you look at all the green parts, these define the terms and scope of your essay. Specifically, what do I mean when I talk about the dreams of young people? When I'm talking about dreams of young people, I'm also finding some way to define it, intangible, and the idea of it getting bigger as well. Okay, and then one last line. These dreams are harder to attain as it usually requires compromising other goals. So this again is a reason why it's less attainable. So if you look at this thesis, we have the parts in blue. So the reasons why it's attainable. We have the parts in red, which shows the reasons why it is less attainable. So in every thesis or intro, this is almost a mini intro. You just write 1 or 2 sentences above and you've got an intro. An intro always must give me a hint or a sense of both points of view. So reasons why it is seen to be attainable, reasons why it's seen to be less attainable. Your intro also must explain the terms and scope of the question so that we have a sense of how you're defining your question. And then it must have a stand. If you look at this thesis, which way does it lean? Are we leaning towards attainable or less attainable? Okay, less attainable, right? So which means what you're going to do is that you look at, for your essay outline, once you've written this thesis, you're going to go with the reasons why it's attainable first. And then you're going to show all the problems or limitations or exceptions or how it's not that easy. You're going to look at the reasons why it's less attainable. Okay, so with that, you have a thesis. If you go to the Google form, it will show you, I've pasted a picture of a possible essay outline. But if an essay outline from here, if we start with reasons why it is attainable, you can start with this idea. If not in Singapore, then where, right? Singapore is so safe. Singapore has, we have opportunities for wealth creation. We have opportunities for professional jobs. So why not in Singapore? Okay, another reason why it is attainable. So in addition, we have a world-renowned education system that is the envy of many countries all over the world. Our students are prepared and given the qualifications to do whatever they want and to get whatever jobs they want. So first 2 points show the reasons why it's attainable, and then you switch over. However, okay, they may not, despite getting the qualifications, they may not get the jobs they want. For what reasons? Reasons being looking at elitism. You can look at inequality. So some of the issues in society. And then after that, you can say additionally. So do take note of the discourse markers. That's in capital letters. You can look at rising costs, inflation. Means that your money seems smaller, and you may not be able. Some of us may not be able to afford the lifestyle of our parents. Hopefully you can, and you will succeed, and you will exceed it. But maybe for some of us we might not be able to. Okay? Then you can look at intangible dreams. Furthermore, intangible dreams are not that straightforward to achieve. I mean, if you're looking at work-life balance, the company wants you to work harder and harder, right? So somebody has to compromise. So it requires some kind of compromise. And then finally, you can say this is the generation of Greta Thunbergs. Okay, and young people don't just want dreams for themselves, they want dreams for society at large. And these dreams are complicated because it requires the action of larger players. And sometimes people and companies and governments, they're not willing to move. And so that makes it more difficult. Okay? So you can take a look at the outline in the Google form, as well as your tutors will also send you the outlines of all questions. But before you log off, can you type in some questions in the Google form? Your tutors will look through them, and we might take it up with you next year to answer some of these questions. Okay, thank you very much.